Hello, all, and welcome to a somewhat subdued uh, Friday afternoon beer review, which I'm going to be dubbing, well, I should just be slightly more serious. I was supposed to go to a family gathering at a restaurant. As you can see, I'm combed, shaved, have nice clothes on, and everything. And yeah, which is kind of a rarity. I'm usually pretty disheveled in these reviews, something that people have commented on before. But yeah, I just can't overcome my anxiety. I have pretty severe anxiety about several things, and going out to eat kind of combines several of them. One of which being my anxieties regarding driving in urban traffic, anxieties about being in a large crowd, anxieties about eating in a public area. Yes, it's really weird. I really enjoy, and it's really funny because I enjoy eating out, but it's always like I do takeout because I eating at a restaurant causes me anxiety, and when it's all stacked on top of each other, add in other stresses. My computer's starting to blue screen again. Work kind of sucks, as I've mentioned in many previous videos. I just can't bring myself to leave the apartment. And so I debated doing this review, but you know what? Self medication. And that is very mirthless laughter that I'm doing right now. So before I get into the rest of this, I want to wish my father a happy Father's Day and birthday, my sister a happy birthday, and my stepsister a happy birthday. I'm sorry I just couldn't bring myself to make it out. Um, I don't know, but all I can say is, looking at family history, it's going to get rougher for me in regards to those particular personal demons. But on happier note, let's just get straight to the beer review part here. And this is from Breckenridge Brewery in Colorado, and this is a sour called Mountain Beach. It's a fruited sour, 4.5 ABV. Says here, bright and tart with pineapple, lime, and guava. So yeah, let's just get straight to it since I've already wasted like 3 minutes yammering about my own life when I know some of you are just here for the beer. Okay, so a slightly cloudy, light yellow color. I wouldn't say it's straw yellow, but near there. Nicely carbonated with a fizzy to frothy white head. Kind of have a base there of that um, very typical kettled sour nosing of crushed sweet tarts, but on top of that, you get a lot of the fruit. And it's really dominated by that pineapple, you know, with the lime and the guava being very much secondary. And oddly enough, I don't know why I get this, but very, pina colada kind of notes. So it almost smells like coconut was added in. Of course, coconut wasn't added in, but between the lime and the pineapple, you know, very much upfront, bright pina colada kind of smell going on there. On top of that sort of mineral slash sweet tart kettled sour base. Onto the palate now, shall we? Now, what strikes me here, first off, is this is a very thick mouthfeel for a 4.5 and a sour. Usually that sour attenuates the mouthfeel so that it feels lighter than it actually is, even though sours are usually already pretty light to begin with. This one, for some reason, just the addition of that fruiting has given it a lot more, I wouldn't say beef, but it definitely feels thicker than the ABV or the style that's on. Also, the sourness is fairly muted in this. Tartness really doesn't emerge into the mids and to the finish, and it doesn't really last in the finish either. You're left with that sort of pineapple slash pina colada, and it's not really like pineapple. Fresh pineapple has a very distinct taste to me. This is much more a pina colada kind of taste and smell note. And is there up front. It's very much there in the top note, and it's there in the long finish, including the top note. So while I'm not sensing sweetness very much on the palate here, so it's still subjectively dry as tarts would be with that high acidity. I think there's a lot more residual sugars in here, which are adding to that sort of bulked up mouthfeel. And, keeping that tartness um, at a more subtle level. Right on the tip of the front, there is just a very subtle sweetness that kind of passes quickly, kind of enhances that sort of pina colada kind of taste there. Now, I don't really taste the guava in this at all, which is kind of interesting because some of the other reviews here stated that the guava was overwhelming, whereas for me, the pineapple slash pina colada is what is really the defining character of this beer. Yeah, definitely not getting much in the way of guava. Maybe some slight notes in the finish. That could just be my brain playing tricks on me. As it warms up, the tartness is becoming a bit more broad, but it's still second fiddle. This is a fruited sour, and very much in the sense that the fruit comes before the sour. And not so much on the palate, too. It's really interesting. Um, you know, it is very overwhelming as a top note, but it's actually, and very overwhelming in the nose as well. But on the palate, not too strong. It's more hinted at by that sort of thicker body. Excuse me, and everything else around it. So yeah, this is well balanced. I mean, it's still got the tartness there, but it's not going to scorch your taste buds. And enough alcohol has entered my system that the anxiety has sort of dissipated for the most part. Yeah, self medication. I know it's not. I should admit it at least a little bit. But because it's alcohol and I'm responsible, I'm also not going to go and drive now just because it's kind of dissipating. Um, that nice little catch 22 about using alcohol as an anti anxiety. So, this particular beer, I don't think there's much complexity there in regards to taste notes, but it's definitely interesting um, in regards to how they've created the sensation of a thicker body for what's essentially a light beer and kind of balanced off the tartness that can be a turnoff to some people. On the minus side, I think your enjoyment of this beer, your mileage of this beer is going to be centered on the single question: do you like pina coladas and taking walks in the rain? Well, maybe not that second question, but that first question. Because if you don't like that kind of pina colada taste note, you ain't gonna like this. I kind of like it in small doses. It's not something I'm chasing, but it's interesting enough that it doesn't turn my taste buds off. I know it's kind of a love hate flavor. What's interesting to me too is that I've had other beers that like evoke pina colada in its name, and I've always been like, not really. This one does not mention pina coladas at all. But damn, if it's like the most pina colada kind of beer that I've ever had. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up now. I know that my dad watches these. I'm really sorry I couldn't go and slay my personal demons today. Maybe next time. I don't know. Um, you know how it is. It's just a stacking. It's really tough for me. Sometimes I can get over it. Sometimes I can't. It's just dealing with multiple things that kind of takes me that I have to process, and stacking them up and then adding exterior stresses just makes it kind of hard for me. I'm sorry, and I wish you all the best of birthdays and whatnot. So yeah, just kind of looking forward to having some steak, but no, I guess Telly Stew is just gonna have to do it tonight. So yeah, Mountain Beach. If you like pina coladas, you probably like this. If you like complex sours, it's not that. If you like easy Baby's first sour, yeah, this is what that is. So that's beer review for tonight, folks. Cheers. I'm going to be trying to upload as much as I got over the next few days because I don't know how long my computer's lasting. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm starting to get repeated blue screens. The error messages lead me to believe that that either another part of my memory is dying or my motherboard is dying. I don't know what I'm going to do when it stops booting up completely. I I guess I'm just going to have to go and bite the bullet and pay for it. But my catalytic converter in my car is also starting to go now too. So, so all them bills come and due at once, and man, that's just weighing on me. But that's why there's beer for now. At least I don't have to feel like shit for another hour or two tonight, and then come sleep. after that, and I don't feel like shit during sleep as long as I don't have bad dreams. And yeah, rambling on now. So, cheers. Mountain Beach.